So here's a special explainer from Akshata Nandgopal about what the ceremony is going to look like. Let's take a look.
More than 2 months after he was elected to be the 47th President of the United States, Donald Trump is finally set to be officially sworn in on January 20th. But if the result became clear in November 2024, why does so much time elapse between the election and the inauguration ceremony in America? When an incumbent president is defeated, the 2.5 months between an election and the official inauguration is sometimes referred to as the lame duck period. This is the period where the outgoing and incoming presidents are actually meant to work together in sync to ensure peaceful transition and transfer of power. But it's a convention, let's be honest, that's often ignored. It's also the final chance for the outgoing president to implement the final actions of the premiership. In most democracies, new leaders take charge quickly once election results are announced. But in the United States, things work a little differently with an almost 11-week transition period. For over a century, America actually waited right up until March to inaugurate its president, potentially leaving an administration that was voted out in charge for another 4 months. That's a lot of time. Now, that changed in 1933 when the inauguration day was moved from March 4th to January 20th. So that amount of time, that lame duck period that we refer to, was reduced. That gap is reduced, yes, but it's still very much there. So why is it there? Let's run you through the reasons behind this November to January gap. First is the Electoral College. Unlike most other countries, US presidents are not elected by a majority population vote, but by electors from the Electoral College. So when citizens vote in the presidential election in America, they're not actually voting for the president, but rather to instruct the state's electors which presidential candidate to endorse to pick. The Electoral College is an intermediary body formally electing the president and the vice president. And it's in mid-December that the Electoral College meets in each state to go ahead and officially cast votes for president and vice president. So there you have already a delay of a few weeks. And then you have the certification, which happens in early January. The Congress convenes to count, certify the electoral votes, officially confirming the election results before the inauguration. So this process provides a formal mechanism to verify the vote and therefore an additional layer of credibility to the outcome. This time, the Congress met on January 6th to count the electoral votes they've received from the 50 US states and, of course, the District of Columbia. The incumbent vice president presides over the certification and then makes the announcement of the new president. Another reason, the period between the election and the inauguration also provides time for legal and procedural safeguards. We're talking about recounts, we're talking about resolution of any potential disputes. And then there's the transition planning. So this period, essentially between November to January, is crucial for also the president-elect, who must assemble a team, must nominate cabinet members and begin formulating key policies. This period allows the incoming administration to prepare for governance, helping to ensure that they're ready to address national and international responsibilities immediately after taking office, that they hit the ground running. So it gives the new administration time to prepare the groundwork for their term, like we saw with Trump also, who during this transition period kept making announcements over who will be a part of his team.